Hi, my name is Madigan Brooks, and this is my presentation on how the Ainu language is being revitalized. In Japan, there is a language called Ainu that is only found in the regions of Hokkaido and Honshu regions of Japan. Ainu is a language that is considered endangered since only 15 people in the world are confirmed to speak it. So here we have on the north, we have Hokkaido, which is that mass that the arrow is pointing to, and in the middle is Honshu. So, a summary of my article is that in my article is about how Ainu is the heritage language of the indigenous people of present day Hokkaido and northeastern Honshu. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, otherwise known as the UNESCO, consider the Ainu language critically endangered since only 15 speakers remain in the world. This article inspects UNESCO's assessment and analyzes the historical and current situation of the Ainu language, especially evaluating government policies related to the Ainu language. They analyzed in the article field observations and interviews conducted in Hokkaido by Jennifer Teeter and Takayuki Okazaki. They conducted interviews with several members of the Ainu community, such as teachers, community members, and activists. They found that language revitalization efforts have been made, and a growing number of youth speak Ainu, although their levels vary from beginner to mastery. While big policymakers recognize the government's responsibility in reversing language shift, they have yet to bring in policies that will help the problem. The authors end their findings with a discussion of the state's positive responsibility to realize the rights ensured by the United Nations of Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. They are working to ensure the future of the Ainu people and hope that they can save the endangered language from going extinct. So, I just wanted to recap this. So, for the levels part, just to make it make a little more sense, you know how something you start out as a beginner of a class and then you work your way up to mastery. I just wanted to say that because sometimes it can get confusing. But so they have like a beginner, intermediate, and then mastery levels. What makes a language die out? In the textbook on page 276, there is two main things that could make a language extinct. Either the speakers of that language all die, or they all stop transmitting their language to their children. In the case of the Ainu language, Japan's colonization policies forced the Ainu to assimilate into Japanese policies. They weren't allowed to speak Ainu, so it slowly started to die out. A bunch of people who are Ainu do not even know they are Ainu or that their ancestors were Ainu. So whenever they were forced to colonize with Japan and assimilate into the Japan society, they were forced to speak Japanese. Who are the Ainu people? So, according to the Haverford Library, the Ainu are indigenous people of Japan, specifically in the Hokkaido and northeastern Honshu area. This language is different from the Japanese language and it is considered a critically endangered and near extinct language since there is only 15 native speakers left in the world. The Ainu language did not have a writing system, so it was very crucial for the Ainu to pass down traditions, folk tales, and songs by word of mouth. Because of this, the Ainu have a rich oral literature tradition called Yukar. Women are mostly Yukar performers. The Ainu were also mostly hunter gatherers since in the harsh, cold weathers of Hokkaido, no crops were able to grow. Their cuisine mainly consisted of salmon, rabbit, fox, and deer, as well as root vegetables. Ainu settlements were called kotan, or village. Kotans were mostly located near rivers or seashores, so food was easily available. So they did that because, like I said earlier, salmon was one of their main foods. It was just easier to go and get salmon if you lived by there, river or seashores. The average Ainu family had up to 4 to 7 people. They all lived in a house woven with dried grass and tree bark called sisei. The Ainu believe that everything in nature has a kamui, or god, and their traditions involved communicating with them. The most significant ceremony was Ayamante, in which they would send back the spirits of the animals they hunted to Kamasur, or the land of the gods. So to the left, we have I wanted to include some pictures of Ainu people. So we on our left we have Ainu people. Revitalization efforts. In 1997, an act called the Act on the Promotion of Ainu Culture and Dissemination and Enlightenment of Knowledge about Ainu Tradition was introduced to support teaching, promoting, and researching Ainu tradition. Japan is doing its best to preserve and promote Ainu to keep the language alive. And so, to our right on the photo, we have 4 women perform an Ainu ritual at the symbolic space for ethnic harmony, also known as Upapoi, if I say that right, sorry, in Hokkaido in 2020. And here is my sources, and I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's day.